I'm still buzzing. That was
So,
great.
yeah, it was so fun. And if you all missed it last week, we did it live together in the same room. It was super special to us to be together in the same room. And thank you, Kim. And and to experience Ladies' Night in the same room. It was so wonderful.
It was awesome. And it was so fun sitting next to Andrea when she's doing her pendulum, because the pendulum was vibrating. I've never seen that before, where it was like the thing was like vibrating. It was the weirdest thing. Really interesting energies for sure in Bryce Canyon. I mean, that place is electric, but particularly with your pendulum.
Yeah. And I got to see you drawing in real life. You were doing your drawing as you were reading.
In real life, yep.
And your orb night was awesome.
Oh, so
fun.
There.
So many good things. And may I just please, because it's Ladies' Night, you guys literally have done what we've been talking about. You empowered yourselves and you made an event. That's huge. You two made an event and it was a great success and it was powerful and beautiful. And thank you. And you're awesome. Like you're an inspiration.
Yay.
Right? Oh, thank you, Andrea. We did not do it alone. We had tons of help.
I know, but you still, you put yourselves out there and you did it. And that takes a lot of courage and confidence and, it's great.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Well, thank you. And it was so fun to see everybody in person. I'm looking at like Kelly Scarborough, and it's so fun to be able to put people and personalities and their voice and everything together with their screen name. It just makes it so, special. And yeah, I mean, the energy of the people, we have the best communities. I mean, honestly, they're just the most wonderful people, kind, supportive of one another, encouraging one another. I mean, it was just really, really a beautiful experience.
It was truly, truly lifting each other up daily. It was just so beautiful.
Even though I was there on my own, I knew that there were 50 people there that would help me if I needed anything.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. And that's a really powerful feeling, to feel safe amongst people you maybe don't really know, but you do know, because we're all part of this community. And it was just fantastic. Fantastic.
And our souls recognize each other too. So
yes, for sure.
That's important. There's one person who said, I know you. Like when I saw you, I knew you. Like I recognized you, like not like from seeing me on the screen, but soul to soul recognition. And that's always cool when that happens.
Yeah, it was amazing. And people were so, supportive of each other and so brave to come on their own, because it's a trick to get to Bryce Canyon, right? It's tricky. We all had tricky experiences, but to go by yourself and to put yourself out there and to spend, days with people you don't know, and to put that kind of trust in our community, that was just really amazing.
It was spectacular. And some women drove all the way from the East Coast.
Yes.
And, a lot of us were females traveling on our own, and we did it. We pushed through and we did it, and we all got there, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
Such a good time.
It was great. But always connected to the whole family here. So for those of you who weren't able to go, we still felt very connected to you guys. And so we thank you also for holding space for us while we were there to create this beautiful thing. All right. So without further ado, tonight I'm in charge. And my power is off today. So we're gonna get this done. We're gonna do this. my question to the universe was, in history, like, is there any historical, like, where we could find it, of people who were psychic mediums in history, and how far back does it go, like that. And so, I just want to share some names, but we're going to dive into one of these people. But I was kind of surprised at some of the things that some of the people that they said, that believed in communication with the dead. And so it starts with, and it's not a woman, but Thomas Edison, which I was surprised. Right. Wow. But another surprise came in, and you might have known this, Kim, but Mae West.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, she was big on this psychic medium stuff and spiritualist. I think when she was here, they still called it like spiritualist. And she did many trips to Lily Dale, and those sorts of things back in the day. So it says, after experiencing severe abdominal pains while performing in Chicago in 1929, writer, activist, and star of vaudeville stage and silver screen, Mae West, then the age 36, believed that her relief finally came at the hands of a spiritualist healer named Sri Deva Ram Suku. So that's how she started in, and then she dove right in. So she was a believer. Another one is Queen Victoria. Did we know that? Yeah, Queen Victoria. Yes, she was very interested in the practice. And after losing her and being distraught in 1861, the death of her husband, Prince Albert, Victoria entered her mourning period, and that lasted until the end of her life in 1901. But she took to spiritualists and mediums and so forth. There's a few more here. Mary Todd Lincoln. I think we knew that about her. We suspected that. We did when we read on her. I feel like she also spoke about that. And then we have they said it's recorded that she had hosted a lot of meetings with spiritualists and stuff.
Okay, so this is weird, and I'll just say this one time. But when I did my quantum healing session with Dave Johnson, in that session, in the past life, you go through past lives, you go through different just things that were like affected this life, basically. And one of them was that I was one of the mediums that worked with Mary Todd Lincoln.
That's awesome.
I'm like, yeah, just a weird aside. So I think it might be on Dave's channel. So if you want to see that, you can.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, very interesting and very weird. Very weird.
Wow.
But you can't make that shit up. I'm sorry. You just can't.
No, how rando is that?
Yeah.
I mean, what?
I mean, especially not even knowing that there was. Anyways, yeah.
No.
All right. That is so cool. And I'm going to. Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, I knew that one. Yeah.
I didn't know that was one. Hilma of Clint. I don't know who that is. And yeah. So the person we're gonna talk about is Victoria Woodhull. And perhaps best known for her 1872 run for presidency of the United States. As the first woman to do so, Victoria Woodhull spent her lifetime blazing trails across multiple disciplines. From early age, it's thought that she believed that she received special guidance and protection from spirits of the deceased, which empowered her to take actions unusual for a woman of the time. In addition to her candidacy for president, Woodhull was also the first woman to own a Wall Street investment firm. Look at her.
Mm-hmm.
Found her own newspaper and spoke before Congress demanding that women be granted the right to vote. And while her run for political office didn't end with her moving into the White House, Woodhull was elected president of the American Association of Spiritualists in 1871, calling it the chief honor of her life. All right, so I'm going to do this because I do have pictures, even though my power was out. I got to set it up here. Boom.
I'm surprised she was able to run for president in the 1800s.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to present. Okay. Present. Share screen. Oops. All right, there we go. And then I need to pull back up.
Aw.
I'm sure. Okay, hold on, you guys. I'm so sorry. I didn't have power till just about 15 minutes before starting. So I got to. Okay, perfect. Okay, so all right. So we're looking at Victoria Woodhull. She was born in 1883 and passed in 1927. Here she is. She was an American leader of the women's suffrage movement who ran for president of the United States in 1872 in the 1872 election. While many historians and authors agree that Woodhull was the first woman to run for presidency, some disagree with classifying it as a true candidacy because she was younger than the constitutionally mandated age of 35. Woodhull's 35th birthday was in September of 1873, 6 months after inauguration. Whatever. An activist for women's rights and labor reforms, Woodhull was also an active advocate of free love, by which she meant the freedom to marry, divorce, and bear children without social restriction or government interference. So this was 1872, you guys. And we're still dealing with that.
Talk about a pioneer. I mean, talk about ahead of her time.
Right.
In every way.
Yeah. And a quote of hers is, "They cannot roll back the rising tide of reform," she often said. "The world moves." So I found that interesting. Woodhull went from rags to riches. Can I say it all? Woodhull twice went from rags to riches. Her first fortune being made on the road as a magnetic healer before she joined the spiritualist movement in the 1870s. Authorship of many of her articles is disputed. Many of her speeches on the topics were collaborations between Woodhull and her backers and her second husband, James Blood. Together with her sister, Tennessee Claflin, She was the first woman to operate a brokerage firm on Wall Street, making a second and more reputable fortune. They were among the first women to found a newspaper in the United States called Woodhull and Claflin's Weekly, which began publication in 1870.
Wow.
Woodhull was politically active in the early 1870s when she was nominated as the first woman candidate for the United States presidency. Woodhull was the candidate in 1872 and from the Equal Rights Party, supporting women's suffrage and equal rights. Her running mate, unbeknownst to him, was a abolitionist leader, Frederick Douglass. Her campaign inspired at least one other woman apart from her sister to run for Congress. A check on her activities occurred when she was arrested on obscenity charges a few days before the election. Her paper had published an account of the alleged adulterous affair between the prominent minister Henry Ward Beecher and Elizabeth Richards Tilton, which had rather more detail than was considered proper at the time. However, it all added to the sensational coverage of her candidacy. She was born the seventh of 10 children, 6 of whom survived to maturity. Woodhull believed in spiritualism. She referred to Banquo's ghost from Shakespeare's Macbeth because it gave her belief in a better life. She said that it was guided in 1868 by Demosthenes, I'm sure I'm saying that completely wrong, to what symbolism to using supporting her theories of free love. As they grew older, Victoria became close to her sister Tennessee, called Tenny, 7 years her junior, and the last child born to the family. As adults, they collaborated in founding the stock brokerage and newspaper in New York City. By age 11, Woodhull only had 3 years of formal education, but her teachers found her to be extremely intelligent. She was forced to leave school and home with her family when her father, after having insured it heavily, burned the family's rotting grits mill. When he tried to get compensation by the insurance, his arson and fraud were discovered. He was run off by the group of town vigilance. The town held a benefit to raise funds to pay for the rest of the family's departure from Ohio. Oh my goodness. So she was married at 14. At 14, Victoria met 28-year-old Canning Woodhull, a doctor from a town outside Rochester, New York. Her family had consulted him to treat the girl for a chronic illness. Woodhull practiced medicine in Ohio at the time, and the state did not require formal medical education and or licensing. There you go. Woodhull abducted Victoria to marry her.
What?
Oh, my goodness. They were married on November 20th, 1853. Their marriage certificate was recorded in Cleveland. When Victoria was 2 months past her 15th birthday, it was recorded that. So they were waiting to record it till she was 15. Victoria soon learned that her new husband was an alcoholic and a womanizer, and she often had to work outside the home to support the family. She and Canning had 2 children, Byron and Zulu. Later called Maud. Byron was born with intellectual disability in 1854, a condition Victoria believed was caused by her husband's alcoholism. Another version recounted the son's disability was caused by a fall from a window. But they got divorced. She got married again in 1866. He served in the Union Army in Missouri during the Civil War and was elected as city auditor in St. Louis, Missouri. All right, so Woodhill, her thing with the free love, support of free will, likely started after she discovered the infidelity of her first husband, Canning. Women married in the United States during the 19th century were bound into unions, even if loveless, with few options to escape. Divorce was limited by law and considered socially scandalous. Women who divorced were stigmatized and often ostracized by society. Victoria concluded that women should have the choice to leave unbearable marriages. She believed in monogamous relationships, although she also said had the right to change her mind. The choice to have sex or not was in every case the woman's choice, since this would place her in an equal status to men who had capability to physically overcome and rape a woman, whereas a woman did not have the capability with respect to a man, she said. To women by nature belongs the right of sexual discrimination. This is a quote. When the instinct is aroused in her, then and then only should commerce follow. When women rises from sexual slavery to sexual freedom into the ownership and control of her own sexual organs, the man is obliged to respect this freedom. Then will this instinct become pure and holy. Then will woman be raised from the iniquity and morbidness in which she now wallows for existence, and the intensity and glory of her creative functions be increased hundredfold. So as it goes on, ironically, and this is, I think this happened before, towards the end of later in life, she became embedded in the Christianity and kind of poo-pooed the spiritualist stuff that she had moved in and talked in. Let's see. Does it say? I don't have how she passed. Here is some of her. Every woman knows that if she were free, she would never bear an unwished for child, nor think of murdering one before its birth. Anyway, so she definitely was enlightened, but I'm curious because I do want to find out like what was it about this Christian thought that kind of put her back into a box. Everything, even the sexual freedom stuff that she was trying to introduce.
What age was she when she passed, Debbie?
So she passed in, let me see. in 1927. So 83. I got you. 83. She was 56.
Okay.
She has a great face, and those eyes tell a million stories.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Sister of Six says 88. So did I calculate wrong? Oh.
Oh, 88. And Gina says 44.
Oh my God. Okay.
Well, I think she was born in 1838.
Okay.
Oh,
Not
did I
80.
write it wrong? I wrote it wrong.
That's okay. Looks the same.
I was in a hurry, guys.
Yes.
So probably Sister of Six, so probably 88 then? She was 88?
Probably.
Okay.
So happy birthday to Chris Wickens. It's her happy birthday today.
Well, happy birthday.
Spending it with us.
Yay.
I wanted to tell you what I got and see what you guys think. So the first thing I heard was Earth Angel. I always thought that
interesting.
Earth Angels know that they are Earth Angels, but maybe they don't. But I asked what her kind of her soul mission or what she was here to do, and I got move us forward, make the connection, and demonstrate free will.
Big yes on the free will.
And to challenge things that were happening at the time, to kind of put up a fight and like challenge the status quo kind of thing. And she loves humanity. She has a love for humanity. That's why she came here. But I thought that was weird. So that's what I got. I'm like, well, what does all that mean?
Yeah.
And I've never thought hard about Earth Angels, but I thought, well, they must know they're Earth Angels here but in service to humanity. But maybe they don't always know. Maybe they don't always know that they have an angelic, a very angelic part of them. I was drawn to her eyes too.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at when that came. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I think she didn't know she was an angel, but she was, and she was definitely on a mission to highlight this situation. Women's rights, women's freedoms, women's sexuality, all of that kind of thing. And if she had been president, it would have been heard loud and clear and far and wide, right? But she didn't get to be president, but she certainly brought up those topics. And I'm curious too, what happened at the end where she shut it down.
Right. Interesting, right? And maybe it was to kind of demonstrate both sides of the coin, like what it's like to be free and then what it's like to be not free, or to, like you said, kind of put yourself back in a box.
Could be surrounding pressures. Family, friends, and stuff didn't want her to keep talking about it at that age.
Okay.
And she knew she was no longer running for president. 75 up. She knew that for sure.
Right.
I think it was more about just to shut everyone else up. They were trying to shut her up, so she just went along with it to shut them up.
Right.
I also think it gave her, at the time of her life, it gave her a community that she wasn't receiving. Like she's saying it was, even though she had her sister and everything, it was it was lonely to be her. And you do the best you can, right? But it it gave her community.
Yeah. Gave her protection.
Yeah.
Abundance. So people around her before she transitioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
But
again, yeah, just doing what she had to do, but she didn't lose her spirituality.
No.
Her thoughts were still hers.
In fact, even though she chose that path, she still brought a lot of questions.
Challenged ideas and things like that.
Yeah. In that group.
Because I feel like that was part of her soul mission, right? To rock the status quo. And so I think you're right, Debbie. I think she never stopped doing that. We somewhere in our soul, we know why we're here, right? And so we try to fulfill that, even when it's something like that, where it's her kind of her world and her community kind of became smaller or became kind of, more concentrated. And so that's where she kept, challenging ideas and kind of doing what she's supposed to be doing here.
But Chris here says that they badly abused her because of her history around sex, about her free love,
right?
And so, but then they embraced her. Interesting.
She's a very nice person.
I really like her.
Yeah, she's
great. Like talk about, I'd love to be next to your pendulum right now. I mean, the inside of me is going like this, being next to her.
Anyone who came up to her, she would listen to, those eyes, like you just would tell her anything or whatever you needed to tell her. And she was an open soul to listen. And I love that she did Wall Street and a newspaper. Like, this is stuff ahead of the game.
I feel like she had a confidence that created that she wasn't afraid of men, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she felt that everyone was due the same respect, right? And if you remember the times, remember when we were there? Remember the times you had to you were taught from birth as a female your station, right? And that the men, boys, men, whatever, they were above you, they were in charge. And she didn't have that. She didn't come in like that. Like you said, Kim, the earth angel thing, that really fits with her. Coming in with that pre-programming, where, because most of us forget coming in, but there's something about her that part of her was not forgetting, like what that charge forward or something. Yeah.
Right. And it does feel like she did it as a favor to humanity. It's like, was a way to like try to get us to question some of these things and move forward.
Let's bump this up a notch. Let's give them a little kick.
Yeah, she came in to push it forward, to, this whole subject, push it forward, get it out there. And she did her job. She did do her job.
She did. Yeah, she did. And I asked her, Sister of Six says, why did she change her views on free love and spirituality? But she's saying to me, she really didn't, but she got tired. She got like physically and emotionally, and she got tired of the fight. She really got it, you have to remember the time too. I mean, not even women agreed with her. Most women didn't agree with her, but it's kind of like I think you can kind of burn out in trying to be that person pushing. Because I feel like she's saying, I didn't change them. I just lost the fight. I lost the fight inside of me that whatever was pushing me to be that, to espouse my views, the fire went out. It's kind of like I didn't have that anymore. I couldn't keep hitting my head against a wall. I got tired.
Well, it was for others to pick up the torch, right? She came in and talked about it, made it center stage, in a big way. And others were to carry on the message, right? It wasn't her fight alone. So I think she did what she came here to do. And then she was older and tired and didn't want to fight with everyone.
She bashed open some doors.
She sure did.
Holy cow.
She seems really smart and kind of funny.
Is.
Like she kind of had a sense of humor about all of this in a weird way. But I think it kind of kept her upright, kind of laughing about the ridiculousness of things. It kind of like it helped. The levity would help her in really dark moments, is kind of how she's putting it to me. It's like this was a gift from God, because those moments of levity when I could laugh or find the absurdity in it, it helped me to keep going. And it picked me up. It kept my, and she's even like her vibration high, like it lifted her up so she could go on another day.
I did hear, and I just checked, that she is actually surprised that there has not been a female president in the United States after all this time. So it's been over, I don't know the math, but well over 100 years.
Join the club.
Right?
We got t-shirts. Yes.
We got t-shirts.
We got t-shirts.
And it really is. It's just outrageous. I mean, it's outrageous. Same with Canada. We had one female prime minister for a short little bit of time between one guy leaving and a new guy starting. So it was like just this little tiny window where she was. But why is it such a far-fetched, crazy idea? It's not.
It's such a weird thing. Yeah. It's another glass ceiling. It is one of those things where it's just like we just gotta shatter it at some point and have it be like, the world, and Canada didn't burn to the ground for that little time that she was in charge. I mean,
it's okay.
It's fine. I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like, and I think women are excellent leaders. I mean, honestly, they're amazing. I don't know if it's president or prime minister in New Zealand. What was the woman that was?
Yep. I can't remember her name though. Mm-hmm.
She balanced that budget. She was fierce and a force to be reckoned with. And I think there is this fear that if women start to become leaders, they will prove themselves to be great leaders, and men may lose their jobs as leaders. I mean, I think that's the fear, but I think that we need both. We need that, as we know, we need that that male energy and female energy working together. And it's lopsided right now, and you can feel it in the as that divine feminine keeps trying to rise, and it's so lopsided right now. You could feel it with all this masculine, the wars and the fighting and all this stuff. It feels so heavy and off balance right now. You feel it.
And there's no way the Creator made both of us, male and female, to only have one be in charge or be the dominant. And it doesn't make sense. We're both beautiful gifts, the female and the male, and we complement each other, and we're supposed to work together. So let's get doing it.
Exactly. And these energies, right, they're and we hear about it and see it more and more, that the physical self doesn't have to do with that masculine and feminine energy. It can be we've seen certain women that have really masculine energies, and they bring that, as you see it right now in the GOP a lot, these women that are very masculine energies, hard energies. And then you have men that you tend to see on the other side of the aisle with these very enlightened, very what we would call like a feminine energy, an energy that brings that care. Even Joe Biden, right? That caring, compassionate, that softness that's missing right now.
And that's funny that you bring that up, because she, I get a sense of her, and I'm, just kind of watching her and looking at her and stuff like that. And I get a sense that, and watching her engaging with others, when you were with her, you felt very seen and very loved, very enveloped in that. She had a very compassionate side to her, and you felt that with her. But you also, she knew when to be put in the strength behind things as well. But as a friend, like, you would feel very loved and seen for sure. And as a whole, she had a beautiful understanding of people and inequality that was happening and what needed to take place and all that.
And Gray says Jacinda Ardern was the New Zealand.
Okay.
Who we were trying to think of.
Jacinda.
Yeah, Jacinda Ardern. Yeah. And
so we're talking about Victoria Woodhill, and it's on the screen. I know that if you're on a phone, sometimes you can't see that on the screen. All right. Well, there's not a mistake that she's here tonight with us. No mistake. We are in the fight of our lives right now, leading into 2024 and the elections. She says it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to stand up for equality and women's rights and equality all the way around. But
are there any females running for president? I mean, I guess we don't know all the names yet, or do you? Is there any females on
there is. Right now, they're just doing, Joe Biden probably won't have a opponent in the primaries, but right now in the Republican primary, there's a woman. What is her name, Debbie? Or someone in the chat. I've just got it. It's just out of my head.
I love, Kim, that you had confidence and you asked me.
Not Marianne Williamson. She's running right now. She's, or maybe Marianne Williamson is running. I don't know. I haven't heard that yet. But her name is.
So there's one.
Yeah, there is one. That's running right now.
But only one.
Just one. Yeah. Nikki Haley. Thank you very much, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Nikki Haley. Yes.
Yeah, she's running.
Gina. Yeah. Okay.
And it does always seem like there is just like one or maybe two. There was a lot, several in the Democratic, primary before, but that's really unusual. It's usually like that, where it's one or two.
Oh, so Marianne is running as well.
Okay.
Is running as a Democrat.
So there's two. There's two. And Patricia, we did do a show on Dolores Cannon, just FYI, and it's back in the beginning. a long time ago. So go and look at it. One of our first episodes.
And in Congress, the White or the Capitol, whatever the right words are. Sorry, Canadian here. What do you think the split is of Congress people? Is it, you think it's 80% men, 20% women? Do you think it's 50-50? Where
Probably
do you think?
something like the 80-20, I bet. Probably
Yeah,
something
probably
like
80-20. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. 2024, this does not feel right that it's 80-20.
Yeah.
Right? It should be 50-50. Or heaven forbid.
80-20 the other way.
Yes.
And she keeps going like this, like going, and I think she's saying like, keep a steady hand or steady as she goes. I feel like it's just like to keep moving and to just cut through.
Mm-hmm.
It's something like that. I'm not sure exactly what she's wanting to, but it's something like that. It's something like just keep going, cut through the, nonsense and just keep moving forward. As steady as she goes.
She's like, don't make me come back there.
Yeah. What's that?
Don't make me come back there again and jump the doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she's not back, but there's others who are back. Or here. I don't know if back, but here. Pushing and helping and trying. And, she's on the other side, working what she can do there. But it's clear, like, they're not sent here unless it's needed, right? Like, the creator's not just going to send down angels or very strong people or send in masters or whatever if the change isn't needed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So,
right. So she's that's why she said, don't make me come back to you.
And Jack says 28.7% females in Congress.
Wow. So almost 30%.
A little better than we thought, but not much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But better than what it could be. But it should. Interesting.
We need
well,
more.
All right. Well, we need to take up the charge, guys. She definitely wanted us to light the spark under us to remember we're heading fast into 2024 and it's going to be here before we know it. We need to get we need to do whatever we can to get the word out.
Teaching the younglings, male, female, whatever, to think about positions like that. Think about big roles like that, president or Congress or something like that.
Absolutely.
And what you could bring to help everyone. Like that's what, ask kids today, what would you do if you were president or a congressperson, and get them thinking like that.
Absolutely.
Yes. Help them picture themselves in there, and what changes do they want to bring? How do they want to make life better for everyone? Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be great if classrooms did that? Little round table of 5-year-olds, 6, 7, 10-year-olds all the way through. What would you do? You guys are Congress. You guys are presidents of the world. What would you do? Now that I would listen to.
Yeah.
I would listen to that instead of the crap that's going on.
And it's interesting because her energy is just an aside from, but her energy is, it feels contemporary. Like it doesn't, how sometimes we'll bring in people and they will feel like they're from that time.
Yes.
She does not feel like that. She feels very now.
Yes.
Very contemporary, very.
She feels like one of us.
Yeah. She really does. Yeah. It's very interesting. Yeah. She has a really nice energy though. I really like her.
I really do too.
Yeah, absolutely.
She seems like a cool lady.
Cool lady.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Great, Debbie.
Thank you, Victoria, for coming in and hanging out with us.
Yeah. Yes.
There she is one more time.
Thinking about leadership.
And with that older picture, look how she does look tired, right? She does look tired, like from those other pictures that you showed where
Yeah.
she really had that fire in her eyes, like she's ready to take on the
Yeah.
world. And she really does look exhausted in these older pictures.
Yeah, she
Well,
does.
she came out and she's here with a message. She knows what's right. She's like, come on, guys,
Yeah.
come on, everybody.
Yeah.
And it's just like dragging all this heavy weight and nobody's getting it. And she's like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has a knowing.
She
You know,
does.
when Kim and I, and this is the younger picture, but yeah, when Kim and I teach our class, we do a section on just eyes, and we blow up the eyes, and you have to you read the energy. So
Yeah.
there you have it. This one's easy to see. All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Awesome.
She was, way ahead of her time and very courageous. I agree, Chris and Patricia.
All right. So
lady.
That is the end of this Monday night, ladies' night. And I feel good. It's like just a reminder that what we need to do coming in. She keeps saying 2024.
Yeah.
It's right here. So,
and to not get tired, pace yourself. Maybe that's what she was doing, but pace yourself and live to fight another day. It's like, it's okay. Just keep moving forward. We all have those moments where we're just like, oh my God, this is never going to change. But the point is just to keep going, to keep moving forward. Don't give up.
I just think it's so cool that there was someone like her way back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yours. Anyways, well, blessings to you all. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us tonight. And we will see you all next week on Kim's channel.
Yep.
Intuitiview. And so until then, blessings to you, and find out some way that you can help out in 2024 to create equality for women, take back our rights. All right. Love you guys.